All right, so if you are in the studio with us this morning, you would know that the entire place is saturated with the smell of goat meat pepper soup.
Honestly, it's becoming overwhelming. I don't know what Beyonce is up to there.
What are you looking forward to, the goat meat pepper soup or the noodles?
The noodles, obviously. The goat meat, I don't know. I've never seen him cook goat meat before. So, well, maybe later I'll find out if it's worth the wait. But we have to go on with the show now.
Yeah, we've got our first guest joining us this morning. Dr. Oluwatoyin Bode Abbas is a wellness, nutrition, weight management, and lifestyle consultant who is passionate about health promotion and disease prevention.
She got married to her college sweetheart just 3 months after a major gynecological surgery. Both of them being fully aware that their chances of reproduction could be greatly diminished.
Grateful to finally have a son after 8 years of childlessness, numerous surgeries and IVFs, she wrote a book, Range, which chronicles her journey from being childless to becoming a mother. With
her story of triumph, welcome with us to the studio this amazing doctor. You look amazing.
Thank you.
Sound amazing. In fact, you just are amazing.
Thank you so much.
So what are you called? Dr. Oluwatoyin or Dr. Toyin?
Dr. Toyin.
Actually, most people actually call me Dr. TBA. So TBA is Toyin Bode Abbas. So.
Right.
Okay. Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you.
So your story is very compelling, and some would say very sad in some parts, and then comes out triumphant later on. But for the benefit of those who don't know that story, could you briefly just tell us what happened in the area, like right after you got married?
Okay. Well, the problem started actually just before we got married. I had my first gynecological surgery. And getting married, I didn't think that it was going to be so much of a bother having children. I mean, my mother has 6 of us. My husband's mom has 6 of them. So you will think that, okay, Yeah. But somewhere in the back of our minds, after the first surgery, we knew, obviously being doctors, we knew that there was the chance of us having delays with having children. And it just went from the first surgical procedure to the second, to the third, and we're not achieving a pregnancy. It was just almost like for every time I went into hospital, there was another diagnosis. Something needed to be taken out. So I had altogether 7 surgical procedures before I became a mom. And ultimately, we had to go the IVF way because one of the surgeries, I mean, a gynecologist was flown in from the UK. And he said to us, point blank, you're not going to be able to have children by yourself. You will need some assistance. Now, this was a bother for my husband because he has a postgraduate degree in reproductive medicine.
Wow.
So talk about having all the book knowledge and then you can't help your situation, you know. And also, I think he was concerned about the role of faith in everything because, some people see intervention as trying to play God. But the way I saw it was God has given medical science these advances to be able to deliver these joys to people, And so we went through the first IVF and it was rough. It almost took my life. I developed a life-threatening complication. Wow. And then we tried the second time. Every step of the way, we relied on God, because there were points where I could have given up, where it felt like it was too much, In fact, one night my husband said to me that if we don't have any children, it's not a problem, that he would rather have a life with me in it than trying to have children and then he loses me altogether. But ultimately, we had a second IVF and thankfully, we have a precious little boy, Oluwalani.
Wow.
Amazing.
So after many surgeries and, pains as well, eventually you had Oluwalani. But when you look at the fact that eventually you wanted to write this book and put the book out there and put your story out there, why did you think that was necessary after everything that you had been through?
Okay, I actually didn't set out to write the book. I didn't have a plan to actually write a book. I journal a lot, so it started with journaling. So even before we had him, the whole process, I was journaling. I had all the dates written down, everything that I went through, it was all written down. And then one morning, I was at home doing chores, and then I just had that strong impression in my spirit, go and write your story. And I'm like, story, and this was me. I didn't have a help, nothing. I was in the middle of chores that were almost going to consume me. So I dismissed it, and then it came again strongly. So I left everything I was doing, and I picked up my iPad, and I churned out 21 pages on Word at the first sitting in about 3 hours. And so I just thought, okay, and I talked about just the infertility aspect of my life, you know, with the thinking that that is what I was supposed to be writing about. So I eventually got a publisher, and I sent the manuscript, and she said to me, you need to expand it. People need to understand where you're coming from, where what you've been through, to be able to identify with your story. So it wasn't really like I set out to write a story, but it was an impression in my heart that God put there that you need to share your story. You need for people to know that they can wade through this. There are problems, there are challenges, but ultimately there's always joy at the end. If you are steadfast, if you remain constant, you will always find your joy. It doesn't matter which way it comes, but ultimately you will get that joy. So the whole purpose of this is to shed some light on infertility, as it were, and also to dispel the stigma. I mean, my husband and I are medical doctors, so what a better, you can't have a better pick than that, and somebody who has all the knowledge and everything. So we have book knowledge and we have experiential knowledge, and I think that's what God is using in pushing this message out, to reach out to people with hope, to give people the faith, the courage, the strength that they need to keep on until they receive what they're trusting God for.
Thank you so much for doing that. I have to thank you on behalf of so many women out there who've been through something even vaguely similar to anything you went through. There are probably people, you know, right now watching and learning from your story. But then I know you must have had some responses so far from both men and women who have been through something similar and probably read your book not knowing what they were going into, even just before marriage. Can you tell us some of the reactions you've had?
Okay, first of all, one of the key things that feedback that I've gotten is, for a lot of people, they see marriage as this glorious, this glamorous thing where you just come in and everything is cool and dandy. But to be honest, it's not so. It's a union of two imperfect people who are coming together. So from the onset, you need to have that mentality of, we will make it work. And for us, it wasn't as if we sat down and we took a decision that these were the do's and the don'ts. But we knew that there was a higher purpose for us being married, as opposed to, okay, the guy is fine, the girl is fine, we want to have beautiful children together, we want to be Mr. and Mrs. this and all of that. There is a higher purpose to you coming together. And a lot of time it involves self-sacrifice. It involves preferring the other person. Because more often than not, we're in that place where we're coming as who we were being single, and then we want to still bring that to bear in a relationship that is now two, that has become one. So ultimately, you need to get to that place where you prefer the other person to yourself. You're willing to let go. There are times when they've done wrong, but you still try to be the bigger person, and you know, for peace to reign. You know, and in my house, we don't do name callings. We don't raise our voices and all of that. You know, respect the other person, because they're first human, even before they're your husband or they're your wife. So if you have some basic understanding of what it is to be in a relationship, not just a marital relationship, father to a child, a teacher to a student, you know that everybody deserves to be respected. And then if you go at it on that level, and for every time there's a problem, just try to work it out, as opposed to looking for the door.
Looking for the door, that's a big one. Looking for the door. But I have to ask, do you believe maybe it was the fact that you were both learned and educated in, you know, medical science that helped you, you know, to get through this? Do you think it was maybe your like minds that brought you together and kept you together through that process?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
And I'll tell you that one of the difficult places you can be as a patient is to have all the knowledge about what you're going through. So it can be difficult for you to even trust God, because you know the process, you know what the diagnosis is, you know what the prognosis is, you know everything that there is in between.
You know A to Z.
Absolutely. So it's actually very difficult to get to that place where you believe. But thankfully for me, my faith always was a step ahead of whatever medicine that I knew. And for every time I was a patient, I was a patient. I wasn't playing the doctor. For my husband, initially there was the struggle. Okay, I know this, so he's already processing it. You know the way men are. So he's processed everything. He's seen the end, and is now wondering. So he has to walk backwards from that place of, this is the worst case scenario, but now I can trust God to do this. But I was like, right now I'm not a doctor, I'm just Oluwatoyin. I'm a patient who needs help, and God is going to walk through these doctors to help me. And that's the way that we waded through it. And the strength to go on, the strength to stick together, I didn't see that. I didn't have an antecedent, because my parents' marriage was not very you know. And then my husband, it comes from a Muslim background, so it's not also the way that I understand marriage or that we understand marriage now that he was exposed to. So we literally have had to work it out, relying a lot on the teachings in the Bible, you know, relying a lot on the good examples that we see. And then, of course, with the mindset that we want for it to work. We want for it to be able to teach other people that indeed, even if you don't have an antecedent of what a good and godly marriage should be, you can actually work it out.
Wow. I mean, your story itself is very compelling and very inspirational. We don't have that much time to talk about it, but there are one or two things that I would have liked to ask you. For instance, what happened after you had Oluwalani and then you got pregnant again, which was supposed to be a great story, but turned out to be sad as well. But through the entire thing, you became, you came out of it and you know, had a powerful testimony. And here is the book, Range. And she's going to talk to us about where we can get copies of the book.
I think if you tweet to us at TVC Connect with the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria, we'll be tweeting where you can find this book and the book cover itself so that we can help people out. Just go on to social media and you get some more information. But then I do believe Range is also the name of a foundation?
Yes, it's called Range Foundation. And then basically what we've set that up to do is to help couples who are dealing with infertility, who have suffered child loss or pregnancy loss. And also one of the key things that is burning in our hearts is to dispel the stigma that surrounds infertility, that surrounds adoption, that surrounds surrogacy, or people having egg donors and sperm donors. Because ultimately, it doesn't matter how the child comes to you. All that matters is that there's a child out there for you to love.
Thank you so much, Doc, for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
And hopefully we'll find out and follow up what the foundation is doing later.
Yes, indeed.
All right, so we're going on a commercial break right now. And when we come back, we have a special performance from Tolu.
Oh, wow. Welcome back. It's still Wake Up Nigeria.
Yes, it is. And this gentleman was born and bred in Kaduna State, like me. Tolulope Adeshina was one of the last standing housemates of the Project Fame Season 3. He's a singer, songwriter, and a music producer. In 2014, he finally signed a contract with Achilles Records. His debut single, My Lover, was produced by Don Jazzy and was an instant hit. He also featured Don Jazzy on his recent single, Ifemi. Right now, with Mike standing by, is Tolu, who has a performance for us.
Oh my, I'm so H-A-P-P-Y. So people they ask me why my 32 they shine. Me I no go lie, apple off my eye. Love me die, I-C-M-O-N-E-Y. So all things are pass away, new things are here to stay. I'ma get Jack Calole, make we go see my mama. I say all things are pass away, new things are here to stay. Don't be say them, love where I get for you now. Titi lie, lie, oh. Titi lie, lie, oh. Titi lie, lie, oh. Titi lie, oh. I see the sweet in my body, now so the sweet in my heart, oh. And if I no get money, at least I get in my eminado. I'm pressing up, pressing. Your mama born you well, better bikini. Now your love they make me want to sing. So all things are pass away, new things are here to stay. I'ma get Jack Calole, make we go see my mama. I say all things are pass away, new things are here to stay. Don't be say them, love where I get for you now. Titi lie, lie, oh. Titi lie, lie, oh. Titi lie, lie, oh. Titi lie, make you no mind them more. We go they forget them. You want it more fair, you and me forever. Make you no mind them more. go there together. You want me more fair, me and you forever. Titi lie, I be lying, oh. Titi lie, lying, oh. Titi lie, lying, oh. Titi lie, lying, oh. Lying to the promised land. Titi lie, lying, oh. Titi lie, lying, oh. Titi lie,
Where's the groove now?
You were feeling that, right?
Where's the, I really was. Maybe everybody, I don't know how Titi, when she heard her name, like, oh,
That's her name.
All right, that's the MIB Tolu, Man in Black.
Good
Cool,
to
you look
see
very
you.
nice.
I look
Very
like
nice.
Will Smith, bro.
Yeah, you do. This guy are too tall.
Not to flatter myself.
Okay, all right. So let's talk about what you've been up to. You know, you
Yeah.
just came back from a US tour and all that. Let's talk about it.
I just finished my US tour. It was a great success because
Okay.
I did a song called Sugar Rush. It was
Okay.
very international, and somebody saw the video and were like, "We want this guy in Houston," and that was it.
Wait. Okay. They
Yeah.
want you to perform there.
Yeah.
And
So I performed in
okay.
Houston, in LA, and also in Texas.
And this guy is international, though. That is cool. How's your, how do I put it now? Should I say your, being with Maven and all of that, are you
Yeah.
still in
Yeah.
that clique and all of that?
Of course.
How's
it's
it
like
going
a-
now? How's it going now?
It's going quite well. You
Okay.
know, Don Jazzy is like one of my biggest mentors.
Okay.
He's someone that always told me that whatever you're doing, make sure you're equally indigenous as you are international. So that's, if you listen to my music, there's a mix of everything.
Everything. Now that
Yeah.
brings me to the next question. You've done your best to stay true to your roots, your R&B roots and all
Exactly.
that. Has there been any sort of pressure to, to go that party style, to go that
Yeah.
Pokpodipo style and all of
There
that?
always is.
Okay.
But the
How have you
truth
been able
is,
to deal with it?
I believe something very simple, that you
Okay.
can only be yourself. You are an original. So if you're
Okay.
trying to be like somebody else, you're a fake. You're a copy.
Okay.
And copy is always not as good as the original.
Okay.
So-
And so there has never been any time, maybe a feature or something for you not to, to deviate a bit from that
Yeah,
route.
to balance it out.
Has there
Yeah.
been?
Yeah, like my first and second single with Don Jazzy was
Okay.
more party-like.
Party-like, yeah.
So, and Ifemi was a huge success.
Yeah, it was,
everybody
it was,
loved,
it was, it
loved
was.
that song. So it's kind of like diversifying. So
Okay.
you can see the various sides of Tolu, different sides of me.
All right, so any plans for an album?
Next year. But
That's fun. Now you did that. Yes, I
I
was
know.
thinking like maybe it's okay.
because that's just because of the way albums are, the way
Okay.
albums work.
All
So,
right.
but I'm dropping another EP very soon before the end of this year, like a 7-track body of work. So yeah.
An EP 7 tracks. So what are we expecting in the album if the EP is 7 tracks?
Oh, the album is going to be crazy.
Like how many tracks?
Man, maybe like 13 or 14.
Okay, because some albums are like 7 tracks. I'm
because
thinking.
the albums are like for real fans.
Okay.
Yeah, so
okay.
the EP is more like testing the waters, see what people like.
This is your
Yeah.
second EP?
This is my second EP. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How now, judging from the success or from how the first one performed, how well
Yeah.
do you think this second EP
Oh,
will
it's going to
perform?
be great because right now my fan base has jumped.
Yeah, definitely,
so,
definitely.
So I can't wait. I'm
Are
excited.
there any features on the EP?
Oh yeah.
Who,
yeah.
who do you have on the EP?
Right now we're talking to Techno's manager. We're trying to
Okay.
do a song with Techno, and I know that.
Wow. Do we have anything connected to cassava or something? Okay, but let's round up. Who else do you expect?
Yeah, and I'm also trying to get Tubaba if I'm honored. To get
Okay,
Tubaba on this
that's
EP.
cool.
That would
I'm
be
looking
awesome.
forward to what Tolu
Yeah.
has for us on that
Yeah.
EP. So that's like when? Next
Uh,
month?
before the end of next month. Yeah.
Thank you very much. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Tolu. It was great having you.
Same here.
TT Lie. All right. So let's find out how Mary and Beyonce are doing in the kitchen with that little lamb. It's not so little, but let's hope that you put my interest there.
Tolu, someone is tripping for you. But I don't know. She used to crush on me before, but I don't know what happened.
She came specially prepared today.
I'm jealous right now.
Let's talk about the food jar. Okay, so I see you've
Yes.
cut the meat
So
into pieces.
this is our goat meat ready, and our noodles is here. The noodles are here. Our carrot is also going to go in while our noodles is going in too. So we want it. We want our vegetables quite tender.
I think something is missing.
What is missing? You always think things are missing.
I know now. How can there be no black pepper?
It happens that I'm not going to use black pepper today. I won't be using black pepper today.
Why?
Black pepper is not inclusive in my recipe. Yes, I know I like black pepper. I love to use black pepper, but today we wouldn't be making use of black pepper.
I was thinking you would use black pepper now.
No black pepper. But you could yes, you could add one more noodles to it.
Nice. That's more like it. Okay. So more noodles. Yeah, I noticed the way you're cutting the carrots. The carrots. Why that way?
Yes, it looks more appealing this way than just cutting it in the regular circular form. You know, you cut it this way, and people are more interested in what carrot looks like.
And you're going to leave it in chunks like that?
Yes, we are going to leave it in chunks like that. At the end of the day, when you're serving it, you want to see a bit of the slanted carrots in your food, your vegetable, your spring onions, your goat meat, you know. Everything is just looking yummy, and you're like, wow. Okay. Now let me go chop this one.
So what next?
Yes, where's my the noodles?
No, I don't want to go through the hassle of breaking it. You do it yourself.
No.
Oh, you caught me. I was trying to get a bite of me.
Really?
Told you I was going to get you.
You are just very mischievous. Anyway, we are not going to be breaking the noodles. Just put it whole like that. Okay. You don't need to break the noodles.
Beyonce, if I don't want to use noodles, what options do I have?
If you don't want to use noodles, really, the first thing you can do is you could exclude the noodles, because this is a noodle soup. You could exclude the noodles altogether. Okay. When you exclude the noodles altogether, you now serve this with
bread.
Yes, with bread roll. It's like I said, it's something. It could serve as an appetizer, or it could be you could serve it as breakfast in the morning. So
now, are there options, like in the sense that, say for example, now I have goat meat, I have this pepper soup and everything.
Yes.
But we are in a society where many of these things, people will be like, where will I get it now? It's unrealistic, or what do you think?
Okay, first of all, we got this goat meat courtesy Paypot food store. Everything here, the carrots, the veggies, the goat meat.
I was wondering how you got to the market earlier this morning.
No, I did not wake up. Paypot food store got this for us.
Okay. Well, I look forward to the completion of this meal.
So what's happening next is this is cooking. When this cooks to some point, we're going to add the carrots in it. So we don't want the carrots too soft. We don't want it too soft. So we want it.
So at what point do these feature?
At the end, when you're serving, you're just when you chop them, you just garnish and you're like you put the effigy on it. It's called effigy.
You like effigy too
yes.
much. Well, over to you now, Yomi and Titi, while I enjoy the meeting.
You're not eating any meat.
Well, it's the top of the hour already, so of course we'll be going straight for the news.
We had a great show so far, though. So much has happened.
It's been absolutely amazing. Tolu's performance was, well, special for you.
Titi Lion. Beautiful. It's not over though.
All right.
We have...
And then coming up later on the show, we have Laugh Up, the comedian.
Yes, sir.
And also Mike will be taking us through another performance later on as well. So stick around. It's still going to be a really special show.